Previously on the diary.
We have no house, but we are not homeless. My twin sister tried to set me on fire after drugging my coffee at Starbucks. Jessica ran into a flaming building for me. She paid back 2 years in just 2 minutes. She's my twin from a different kin. She's my best friend. As you well know by now, Jessica's dad is alive and well, so they offered us to stay with them at their house. That is, the same house I helped Jessica clean up after she committed her crime. Somehow mayhem keeps finding you. None of what I did could have actually brought you back to life. What if you had stayed dead? What would I do without you?
Even if you don't go to prison, you will at least be sent to a mental facility. For God knows how long. Why would you do that?
You know me. Sometimes people do all sorts of crazy things for love. In my dad's journal, he said he drew blood out of the good twin and hoped it was used to save her and not the evil one. But what if he mistakenly took it from the evil one and was used to save me? And that's what's flowing through my veins. I came back home to find out that Jessica attempted to commit suicide. Why would she want to slit her wrists? And she did it this morning. She knew I was coming back today. Why didn't she wait for me? I had a chance to see Jessica today, but I didn't. I hope she doesn't think I'm angry at her for trying to commit suicide. Anger is not the strategy to take with someone that vulnerable or that adorable.
The following takes place on July 6, 2015.
Dear Diary, Jessica's condition is getting worse. She's getting fevers and feels nauseated most of the time. She even started developing a rash and her blood pressure has begun to drop. The doctors believe she may have developed toxic shock syndrome. If you don't know what that is, it's the infection caused by bacteria releasing poisonous toxins into the bloodstream. They aren't sure how she got it. Could have come from anywhere at this point. But their first question to me was about her feminine products. I have been living with Jessica, sharing a room and a bathroom with her for the last months. I'm pretty sure she doesn't use tampons, so that theory is out. But this infection is very serious. She could die. Again. They want to check all her wounds for the source of infection, so they're taking her back to the OR. Fortunately, I had a chance to talk to her about her suicide. Jessica, why would you try to kill yourself? I would hope by now you would know how important you are to me. Now, I don't mean to make it sound like you should do what's in my best interest. What I mean is that whatever you think you can't face or deal with, you can absolutely share it with me and you won't have to do it alone. I will always be by your side. You'll always have me. I know, and I do want to share everything with you, everything. You might not believe me, but I didn't slit my wrists. Although I must admit the thought did cross my mind. Seriously, a few times. I woke up and I was already bleeding. I couldn't tell for how long, but it seemed like for a while. There was nobody around. I felt incredibly woozy, and I barely made it to buzz the nurse for help. They think the button was pressed by accident, but that is the only reason I'm still alive. I buzzed her. Do you believe me? Of course I do. If I had been here with you instead of on vacations with my mom, this would not have happened. I don't just believe her, Diary. I know who did it. It was obviously my evil twin sister. Ugh. I told everyone in the hospital to arrest me on sight if they saw me here before Saturday. So she came Saturday morning. So my sister wants my attention. Well, now she has it. Full on. What does she want? And then it happened again. That weird feeling. Almost like a deja vu, but from a third person's perspective. I've had that feeling before once. I was so excited, so high on human emotions that the memory just didn't burn down to my brain very well. Now, when I try to remember, it's pixelated and blurry. But the weirdest part is that I see myself, like, from a bird's eye view, in third person. I think she's here. She's watching me. This made me nervous. And then the moment passed. I couldn't feel the connection anymore. I wonder if she feels it too, or even if the feed is a two-way street. But I looked around and I couldn't find her. I don't know if this is real or just an elevated intuition kind of deal, but it doesn't feel pleasant. I definitely don't think I can use it to find my sister. I can't leave the hospital now anyway. The doctor said that since Jessica's state is already delicate from the false suicide, she'll need a blood transfusion to fight the infection, and I'll be here to give it to her. Without it, there's no chance she can survive the sepsis. And then something crazy happened. I was sitting next to her when the doctors gave her the anesthesia. and she was supposed to be counting backwards from 10. I was holding her hand and counting with her, reassuring her that she would be completely fine. And then, Craig, my friend from South America, walked in. I invited him. You will never believe who I met down there. Someone spit on the floor. Then someone else replied in English, "If you feel like spitting, maybe brush your teeth more often." He stopped but didn't look back. He just paused for a moment until Jessica said she wanted to leave. It came out of nowhere, but I was okay with that. That's the same guy, Diary.
He has the cutest blue eyes I've ever seen.
On the night of my birthday, Bobby met this guy from out of town. Seems like they hit it off quickly and are now friends. When I called Bobby about helping Jessica, new guy comes up with a plan on the spot. Ugh, why didn't the new guy wear a ski mask like everyone else?
He had duct tape all around his head to cover his face. There was just a small opening for his eyes.
And she accidentally found the picture with Timothy's teeth. Naturally, she started asking questions about the guy holding
Teeth in his hand, with his face covered in duct tape, with those same sharp blue eyes. This person on her phone is the man that raped me.
I thought he would keep me company while I waited for Jessica. She was still awake when he arrived, and I wanted to quickly introduce them. But she started hyperventilating. The drugs were kicking in, so she couldn't say what was stressing her out so much. But she never broke eye contact with Craig. And while she was in surgery, I convinced the guards to let me see the surveillance footage from the morning Jessica had her wrists cut. And there she was. My sister. She is a carbon copy of me. Even I would think I'm staring at myself in the mirror. But on her way to Jessica's room, she suddenly stopped and posed for one of the security cameras. She specifically turned around to do it. From the clothes she was wearing, I could see a lot of the skin on her back. Diary, this may be the low video quality, but I think she has burn scars between her shoulder blades. You know what that means, don't you? My mom said it was a gorgeous night. Then the fire started. Your dad rushed in and quickly brought your sister out. The firefighters found you locked in the basement. 3 days later, you were still in the hospital recovering from second-degree burns. I finally gave in to those words your dad wrote in his journal. The following day, I decided to give your sister up for adoption, thinking maybe this way, she would stop trying to kill you. If she has the scars, then I was the one who tried to kill her. Diary, I am the evil twin.